And we are live.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So what's new?
Yeah, what's new in the business? So we really shifted our focus. Well, we focused down our focus, I guess, just towards the marriage offer. And I don't recall if I ever mentioned in previous weeks that we decided that, we were like, if a consultant came into our business, they would probably tell us like that we're way too like spread thin because
Yeah.
like all our, and this is something we did touch on. Yeah, like all our competitors, it's like we're trying to compete with all these different guys, and it's like we have three different offers, and so we're like, all right, let's just focus down on one for a while, scale that up, get it going,
Right.
get the machine rolling, and then we can start, shifting focus to other things and like I think it was, I forgot I said this, but you're supposed to get an offer to at least like 2 million, like 1 to 2 million, 2 million a year, and then you can like shift focus. And we weren't really doing that. Like we hit our with doping discipline, we did we got the million in that, and then kind of like the webinar started to like not convert anymore. And so that's when we started
Yeah.
marriage mastery, but we still had attention into doping discipline. So in any case, the marriage mastery offer, it's like it is the biggest opportunity in terms of like the average avatar like prospect. He has higher income than most of the age of like the quitting porn men. And so what we're doing is now I'm fully focusing on the client results section of the business, and just like really diving deep into like what's going to get these guys the best results coming in here, like the forced results. Like there's no excuse to fail.
Yeah.
And we shifted our angle with the ads and targeting men who are actually still in the marriage instead of like wives leaving them, right? And we've gotten some leads that are more in those situations. So that's good, because my fear was that like the cost per lead was going to vastly increase because men don't seek help until it's like, the wife's already leaving, which is somewhat true. But, some significant amount of men do search for marriage help, which has been good. We have this like A closer I told you about that was Sonny Lenarduzzi, and he's been really helping not just with like sales, but also just with our systems and stuff that he learned over there.
Yeah.
He did over a million sales at Sonny. And so yeah, I mean, all the pieces are in the right place to scale things. But so we're hoping we do really well this month. So far, the first couple of days, like the leads have been not the best leads. It's Facebook just like so up and down.
Yeah.
Like one day we spent 500 and didn't even get any leads, and it was just like, so.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it happens. Sometimes you get a bunch of good leads and you get none the next day. It's just the name of the game, right? But yeah, so I'm focusing on the client results section. Just gonna record some more videos. We're hiring a new customer success manager, and I had an idea. We have this coach. He's like he was a sales rep, but he wasn't the best in sales. But he's like super, just like strong energy, like masculine state. And we're thinking of like adding him to the course, like flipping him from the sales rep position to now like coming into like do these like 30-minute war room calls, as we'll call them. Like so, guys,
okay.
he has like an obstacle or something, he sets up a call with Joe right away, and Joe like gives him 30 minutes of like do this, right? Like
Right. Yeah.
So with the group calls, this war room call is like they have, and then we hired also another coach for like longer sessions as a higher up tier offer if guys want it. We think with all this and like creating the culture, like that's going to be the best to get the guys' results, get the flywheel going with the ads. And then, once we scale that to like, hopefully 200 to 300,000 a month, which is the goal, then we can focus on other things like, YouTube and doping discipline and come back to that. So.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. I mean, the thing is probably, well, I mean, if you do scale it, or when you scale it to $200,000 to $300,000 a month, the big question will be, will you even want to come back to those other
it depends. Like if we can keep on going like this, then
well,
I mean, you might as well stick with it, right? Like why put your foot off the gas if you're going in the right direction? But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens, I guess, too. I mean, one of the good things. What's that?
Okay. No, go ahead. Okay.
I was gonna say, I mean, you first, go ahead.
I was so it's like save mine. Okay. I forgot what I was gonna
say. I was gonna say that when one of the reasons why it's good to get to like $1-2 million a year, I think, before expanding out into other things, is because when you're at that point in the business, you have enough money that you can hire a lot and that allows you to sort of spread yourself more, because then you have more people that are in charge of whole divisions as opposed to doing specific tasks, right? So you could put someone in charge of, let's say the dopamine discipline product, and they would run that product and the marketing for that. And so I think then it becomes a lot more easy to be in the, but again, it might be just better to just hone in on the one thing and just be extremely profitable there. So
yeah, no, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing that was preventing me from going all in with Marriage Mastery was I didn't connect with the clients as much personally.
yeah.
I was creating a disconnect in my own mind, because that's where, connection and disconnection comes from. It's the way you frame things yourself. Like, oh, these guys are, they are just, same high school, same city the whole life, working 9 to 5, all this stuff. And like, I started to shift my view of it. Like, all right, these are men that are in a relationship that are losing the woman they love, and they want to improve themselves. And like, that's more than enough to connect on it. As soon as I shifted that focus, like the clients I've been onboarding, I've been able to connect with a lot more and have more like passion towards helping them. So that's been a kind of little insight that I've had, that like I created this kind of like disconnect in my own mind, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as like any other obstacles, we are still doing YouTube once a week, keeping that going, because we're not gonna completely stop it.
Right.
So I'm passionate about it, and it does bring in some leads. But I'm gonna hire Ed from Film Booth. Ed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hire him for his coaching program. I missed his first cohort cutoff because I was like hesitating on if I wanted to do it or not. But like his next one's in October, so we have a couple months to focus on Marriage Mastery, and then come around October, I'll be able to take his YouTube course cohort, and then do that, and hopefully things go well. But yeah,
good. Yeah, that'll be cool. I'll be interested to hear what you learn from that too. So it's funny.
I'll bring those insights in for sure.
Yeah, I just onboarded a coaching client of mine who has this coding channel, and he's only got like maybe I think 30 videos on his channel, but he's got 180,000 subscribers, and he's not even teaching people tutorials like how to code. He's just doing videos about programming, but he's doing very cinematographic set of words, cinematographic, I don't know, whatever. He has a very high cinematography in his videos, right? They're very well edited, scripted, right? They're produced very professionally, and that seems to be the common thread. You look at in fact, he found me through Captain Sinbad, because he is a big fan of his work, and then obviously Captain Sinbad style, Nikhil's style on his videos works really well. So what the things are pointing to me is that it's like creating those, like we have models for what works, right? These highly produced, very well scripted videos. He also said though that one of the things that he said is that he really spent a lot of time researching what videos had worked for other people in other niches potentially, and then recreating that same type of thing in his niche. So he spent a lot of time doing the research, figuring it out, and then figuring out how to make a really good hook and an intro of the video. So he was telling me, he was like, yeah, I could pick any kind of niche and I could master, I could have a huge YouTube channel in any niche. It doesn't have to be programming. And I believed him. I think a lot of people say that, but it's interesting just, looking at how, what things are actually working. So
yeah. What's the name of his channel?
I think it's Kenny Gunderson. Kenny Gunderman. Yeah. But yeah, you can take a look at his
cool
videos, and it's pretty crazy how, he doesn't have very many videos at all, but he's got so many videos with a huge number of views.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that would move the needle forward, is like finding a unique style. Like we talked about this last week, I believe, with like that Jake Trend guy who was like copying Graham Steffens, and he figured out his own documentary style, and he blew up to 1 million, and Yeah, I was trying to find out like what would be that unique angle for me, and like my mind does go to like using more humor, like Nikhil
Mm.
does, because that's part of like who I am, and I don't incorporate that enough. But um, yeah, I think it's once you find it, like once it just clicks, you're just like kind of just go with it. But
Yeah. I've been trying to figure out, what things work the best in my channel lately too. And it's, I don't know. I mean, a lot of it is like, you know, videos on women dating, stuff like that. And if they look like they have a negative spin towards it, unfortunately, like those videos do the best, right? If I look at like my morning fame, use that tool,
yeah,
morning
man,
fame.
because it evokes the most amount of emotion in the viewer. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's why I like those red pill channels. Like what's that guy? It's like it's not even that well done at all. But like that Darius M.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He has like 400,000 subscribers, and all he does is like he pulls a clip from TikTok of like
Yeah.
multiple clips from TikTok of girls like complaining about men or something, and then he's just like on his iPhone, like woman guys, like they're never gonna learn. It's just like he gets like
Yeah.
200, 400,000 views.
He
It's just
doesn't
like a mental masturbation of complaining about women. I'm just like it's so
he doesn't even
frustrating.
yeah, he doesn't even say anything. He's not even very wise. He doesn't say anything
He doesn't
really
even give any, you know,
intelligent.
he doesn't give any like practical advice. He's just saying like, guys, these women are never gonna get it. Like, it's just like
Mhm.
the guy just comes there first, like his like morning, like, yeah, fuck woman, fuck woman. All right, I'm gonna go walk through the world now, fuck woman. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and that's you can tell how like pissed off I am about that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah. I look at like my top videos and it's like, on Morning Famous, like create more of these videos. How modern women exploit men, hint it's your fault, right? So it's like top ways that you make women think you're weak, right? Do not date a girl with guy friends, right? So like that's a short, but yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
so
yeah, and so that's why like a big reason why Andrew Tate blew up, right? Like he kind of tapped into that kind of like market a little bit, those kind of guys. So,
yeah, yeah.
but
But
anyways, yeah. What about you, John? What's going on with you?
let's see, a bunch of different things. We had a really good sales last week. Did like I think close around $21,500 in sales,
Was most
which
that
was
Instagram ads?
actually it was 24,100 in sales. It came from, let me see, a couple from Instagram, two from outbound Instagram, which is pretty damn cool. So it looks like about $11,500 in sales that came from direct messaging people outbound without them, just reaching out to people who would like to post or something like that. So that funnel appears to work, and that's the one that's the best way to get people, because that is 1,000% scalable, right? There's no limit to the number of people that you can direct outreach. So I'd rather get a sale from there than any other place, right? Someone who's been, and some of these people have been following me for some time, but someone who's on my email list who's been following me for 4 years, it's great to get that sale, but that you can't recreate a bunch of people that have been following you for 4 years, So, so yeah, the outbound sales is definitely good. I don't know what happened to many, but let me see what else is going on. So yeah, but I'm not seeing too many sales coming in now. I think part of it too, that a lot of those sales came from, is I did an email to the Simple Programmer list, and the email was,
I
oh,
actually
I
remember
think
you
I,
said, I
yeah,
remember, yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah.
yeah, that email, right? That email was really, I got a lot of people in the door there. And then that poll that I had done too. So, yeah, I'm trying to think what else there was yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that though. But I've got the VSL done and edited, and I think that came out well so we'll start running ads again there. And then what else was a big, one of the big things I'm doing right now is I'm hiring someone to be a community manager, right? So I'm doing a part-time 10 hours a week job, right? Kind of almost an internship. Basically, I made a job description, $10 to $20 an hour, and this community manager, let me see if I can pull up the document of what
Yeah.
I want them to do, because I think this is something that I really needed.
In what, in like what community?
In all of my communities, right? So this was my
Is
job
this
will
over,
involve,
is this via Facebook? Is it Discord? Like, how do you guys,
well,
how do
this
they,
will be
where's it
basically
housed?
managing the Facebook groups for regular and platinum membership, right? So, and more specifically, what they're going to do is they're going to get engagement in there, right? Post stuff, get people to post, respond to posts, right? Managing the Discord server, managing the community for the Well That Never Runs Dry program, right? The high ticket program. Again, getting engagement in that community, talking to people, uploading new lessons to Kajabi in the membership. That's like a task that I have to do right now. Sending emails to announce the new membership lessons, announce the live streams every week, basically get more people on these, responding to YouTube comments, ways to improve the community and implementing them, bringing community champions to increase engagement. So I want them to basically bring on maybe 4 or 5 community champions in each community that will, basically do a lot of posts, engage with people and stuff like that.
How
Those
are
would
you
be
gonna
kind of,
get, how are you gonna get the community manager to find these champions and get and encourage them to be more engaged?
I've already got a ton of people that have applied for this job and have said, even if I don't get the job, I'd still like to some way be involved in growing the community. So I think, it'll be pretty easy to get those people. So, but
And where did you post this? Where did you post this?
I just sent it to my email list.
Okay, yeah.
I got quite a few responses from that. I've got a bunch of interviews today. So it's actually gonna be a tough choice, because a bunch of people that responded to the job are people I already know that are in the community that are really good candidates for the job. So we'll see what happens with that. But I feel like that is like one of the missing pieces that I've had in the business, is that I just don't have time to be involved in the community as much. And so, getting that engagement is going to keep membership retention rates higher.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I was going to do with this community manager is I was going to pay them a commission as well as a base. So they should be in the community selling solutions to people who are in the community, right? So if people are in the Bulldog Mindset membership, they should be, if someone's talking about financial stuff, they should be selling them the Well That Never Runs Dry program, right? And so if they can get sales on those things, those products, then they'll get a commission on that. But yeah, I basically want them to just make the community, like, take care of all that stuff, so that I'm not neglecting the community that is growing. And
Yeah, you're spread pretty thin, right? And so it's important to have that. I'm surprised you didn't have that already, to be honest with you. Yeah. Because our customer success agent, like, that's what we call him, same role. He messages all the guys, responds all the comments in the 3 different programs. And we in the beginning we would try to get him to, as a KPI, to have a specific amount of cross sells, like dating guys to quitting porn, vice versa. But he's very adverse to selling, so that's a problem. But he's really good at what he does in terms of like the community management. He's like a psychology. He's getting his master's in psychology. He's in Croatia, and so he's a really good candidate. But yeah, he's integral to a lot of client results, John. So that's actually, I'm excited for you. That's really good to have.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be a really good role for. It's gonna take some work off of my plate, and then it's gonna make it so that there's a higher stick rate to things, and they can resolve a lot of issues and get more people. I feel like if we get a really vibrant community, then we'll also, it's just a huge benefit to the program itself, and then we'll have more people that will give referrals to, right, to tell their friends to join this. So let me see what other major things I had going on. I've been creating buffers for YouTube videos. So I have probably like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks in the can now of buffers. A buffer
You mean like cute videos that are already ready to post?
Yeah, that was one of my big goals. So yeah, I'll be going to Hawaii next week. So, but I'll probably shoot some videos there anyway. So and then I do have a test going on for, I told you about making 1 hour plus videos. I still have to record a few more of those, but the other major thing that I did too was I got So I had an editor for my Simple Programmer company for the blog there, and they've been doing guest posting, but that traffic's been dying. So finally I went on Upwork. I hired someone specifically to be a writer for and SEO and keyword researcher. So they're just their whole job is going to be grow the blog traffic, and they're going to take over that whole thing. They'll work on opt-ins and stuff like that. So that's going to be, I think
What
that will be good for that company.
what did you offer them?
Basically the same that I was paying the editor. So it's $1,500 a month. So it won't be a cost savings for me, but yeah, I figure that budget is better spent on having someone specifically writing, keyword research articles, specifically trying to grow the traffic. So
Yeah. And so what are you ranking for usually with those blogs, like as far as keywords?
like a lot of software development stuff, like interview questions, stuff like that, a lot of soft skills related stuff. So he came up with a whole tree of content to create that's around the topics and I've got a good domain authority, like 55 on that site. So it should be easy to grow the traffic on there if we have quality keyword research articles. And then, the whole idea with that, again, is to funnel that into, I bought that domain Wealthy Programmer, and I'm going to basically, programmers are my best clients for the Well program. So I'll move them over to the high ticket, make that another entry point into this high ticket program. So maybe even just have a complete marketing where this is, I just renamed the course, right? The program for programmers, the Wealthy Programmer, right? How to retire young as a programmer, and
my immediate thought is I like that a lot.
and they just go into the same place, you know what I mean? Or I could even have just a duplication where these ones are just, all the programmer people that came in this way, and then, but we're running the same essential things, same lessons, everything. So
Do you have a clear picture of, like, in typical 5-year question, like in 5 years, what the business is going to look like, what you're striving toward in terms of how it runs and operates and what your role is in it?
I mean, the thing that I would like to do, what I would like the business to be for me, is I would like it to be where all of the kind of the day-to-day operations, where I have essentially a marketing manager who manages a copywriting team, design, all that stuff. And what I do is I create really, really good content, and I focus on just creating, because I've lost the art from the content. Like that creative artist part is what I really enjoy. And so just working on creating better and better content, getting my content up to the level of Nikhil. I like what he's doing. That is what I'd like to produce, that kind of content. Just don't have the time to do that and the focus right now. And then so I'll be creating that kind of content, and then really focusing on making the high ticket program and the programs that we offer as high quality as possible, re-recording them, just focusing on building tools and stuff like that, just to deliver. Like, I want to be delivery, right? I want someone else essentially doing all the other.
You're exactly, like, we have so much in common. You're exactly like what you want is exactly what I want to do. Like, yeah, like just high quality produced content, like the creative, like having fun, make, like really impacting people's life, making them feel something, and then like when they come in, like giving them massive transformations, right? Because that's what you've had.
Yeah. So I think my road to get there is getting to kind of like you, 100K, 200K a month in sales, because then that allows me to have the budget to be able to hire the marketing managers, to get project managers in place, to get all of the other business operations taken care of. And then I can just be the talent, the creative talent of the. It's kind of funny because I think what you and I want to do is kind of the opposite of what a lot of people running businesses want to do. They want to be out of the business on the higher level of things.
So John,
and, yeah,
I have you heard of the book Rocket Fuel?
Mm-hmm. It's on my list. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. So I mean, I still suggest you read it. It's a 4-hour read. So if you do double speed, it's like 2 hours, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a whole section in there. And so basically, like, you're more of a visionary, and there's visionaries and integrators. And I just think you need to, like, find a really good integrator.
Yeah.
And like someone who, like, we have, like, someone just comes in and like they just, like, you're the why, and like they just do like all the freaking like stuff that you essentially just don't want to do, right? And like they like doing that. There's like that's the way they think. I mean, I think you
Yeah.
have part of that. What you have a little part of that too. Like you're kind of from programming, you're more that systems logical oriented approach. But and so you obviously that's why you're able to run this business by yourself the way you're doing it, because you have both of those qualities. But it seems like what you say, based on what you say, you're more the visionary, and you can find someone who is that integrator and like fill that role. Like I think then you're just gonna blast off. Dude. It's rocket fuel, right? Like
Yeah. That is definitely what I need to do. It's kind of funny. I actually had an integrator person because I had a partner in my business that bought into the Simple Programmer business. Like he earned his way in. Josh, he used to be actually on this podcast, but then when I started Bulldog Mindset, he was sort of like the CEO of Simple Programmer, but he's sort of like I was like wanted him to run Simple Programmer, and then I was going to like really focus on the Bulldog Mindset stuff because I was tired of it, and that was my mistake. I think now looking back on it was that it's exactly what you said, which is that he was the integrator, but he had no visionary. So he got frustrated with the business. He stopped doing as much work. And then that's when I was like, look, I don't want to keep giving him half of the money. So I bought him out of the business. Right. And basically paid him, half of the business worth. And then now I own the business full out. But he would have been a good person. He was a good person for doing that. So
yeah.
But let me see. There was a couple other things I think. So I think that'll be good for that, for the Simple Programmer business, getting that back on track. And then what did I have here that was big deal? I also did the rebrand for us for Programmers is now the Entrepreneur Mastermind. I got a bunch of TikToks recorded. So reels. I did like 30.
Do you think your TikToks is producing money?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well,
It
not
is?
the TikTok reels are producing money. Majority of my sales come from Instagram now.
Yeah, so I'm saying like, so is TikTok like, because you just post the reels on TikTok, right? That's all you're posting there. You're not doing individual TikToks.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same, right? It's the same. Yeah. The same.
I saw because I asked that because I stopped posting on TikTok the past couple of weeks.
I mean, you might as well put them on TikTok, the reels that you're putting
out. We put the reels, but I was also posting TikToks strictly on TikTok.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
What I noticed, I was doing 3 a day, and we were having good numbers, and then we just started posting 1 a day, just the reels that I recorded that week, and the views dropped like down a lot.
Oh yeah.
So it's just interesting because we were looking at it, we weren't seeing like how TikTok was translating into money, because like a lot of guys were going from TikTok to the Instagram, but like a lot of the leads were like young kids, like 15, 16 years old, and so
I feel like TikTok is not a mature enough platform at this point to like, there's just no, and it was just like one of my coaching clients was like, oh yeah, no, TikTok's where it at, because he runs a media agency, and he was like, yeah, we have customers who sell on TikTok. And I was like, what do they sell? He's like, oh, supplements. And I was like, okay, you can make a TikTok and be like, look at this pre-workout, blah, blah, blah. Right. And you can sell it right from there. Right. I was like, but you're not selling a high ticket program, and you're not selling marketing like an agency from TikTok, because first of all, no one's DMing you. In fact, all of my TikToks say DM me. I've never gotten a DM on TikTok, not once. People don't, what I have gotten is, like you said, I've gotten people that have come from TikTok, click my Instagram profile from TikTok, and then DM me on Instagram, because Instagram is a professional networking app. Instagram is a dating app. Instagram is, it's an entertainment app. Instagram is the ultimate app, right? It is all those things, right? But that's where communication takes place is on Instagram, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but
Manny, are you there? Manny's coming. coming in and out.
My connection is so bad. I'm here, but
Well, how about you
I
just
hope
get it?
you
Yeah,
guys,
just get it on. What's going on
yeah.
with you, man?
No, you guys were going out enjoying your discussion.
Oh man, it's so bad.
Um, well, it's really bad, right?
Yeah.
I'll just sit on mute and listen to you guys. I don't want it to screw it up. You guys carry.
But okay. But yeah, I mean, what was I gonna say? Yeah, that's, I mean, that's mostly what I've been doing, is kind of getting the buffer and stuff. And then oh, one thing though that is kind of unrelated that I think you might find interesting, Josh, and I'm probably going to put out a product on this actually, even though I probably shouldn't, but eventually, I'm not going to do it now, is, man, I'm in the best shape that I've ever been, and I am doing the least amount of workout, right? And I think this is pretty relevant to everyone who's in business, is because time, right? Let me show you something real quick here.
Are you lifting weights during the week?
I am, but I am lifting for 20 minutes 3 times a week. I'm doing 1 set to failure. That's it. And I'm eating extremely high protein, like close to 300 grams of protein per week. Here,
Per day.
Yeah, per day. Yeah. Per day. Yeah, here, let me just pull up this video. Well, I'll pull up this video in a second. But yeah, so it's crazy. It's crazy the results I'm getting. I was gonna show you a current picture so you can see, but it's crazy in the amount of time I'm saving. And then with my running, I used to run like 60, 70 miles a week to train. I'm only running maybe 30 miles a week. And I just ran my fastest mile ever. I ran a 6:17 mile without even pushing hard. Like I just was like, I wonder, I would just see if I could do a mile time trial and see what I can do. And I didn't even really push hard. I just, kind of just, probably 75% effort. So I could probably.
Have you switched up like of your extra supplements that you've been using?
I mean, I am on TRT, but
Mhm.
I haven't changed anything with I've
Yeah.
been on it for 3
That's what I
years.
meant. Like I assumed you were, but like, yeah, that's what I mean. You haven't changed the dosage or anything.
Yeah, I didn't change any of the protocol. Basically, the only thing that I've really done, well, there's only two changes as far as supplementation. One of them is the protein is way higher, right? That's the biggest thing, is I'm eating a ridiculous amount of protein.
Mhm.
And then the other thing is I did start taking NMN and resveratrol. So NMN, are you familiar with like David Sinclair?
No. He's
like an anti-aging researcher. He's been on like Joe Rogan podcasts, and he's been on a lot of run the circuit. He looks extremely young. So he focuses on anti-aging, and the biggest thing that he does is takes 1 gram of NMN per day. So I researched it and I found a good pharmaceutical grade NMN. And so I started taking that. So that might have an effect as well, but I think it's mostly the protein and then the training style. But yeah, here, let me
just 20 minutes of lifting, huh?
Yeah, this is my current physique.
How many sets are you doing?
I'm doing one set.
1 set to failure.
Yeah, that's it.
So for legs, you just squat as many reps as you can, and then you're done.
I don't. Well, okay. Here's also what I'm doing. I'm not even working legs, right? So now, before you're like,
blasphemy.
Well, here's what I'm doing though. I mean, I'll do like 1 set on the leg press, right? The machine leg press, but I'm running trails 4 times a week. So
what age did you go on TRT
at? 38.
38,
or
yeah.
38 or 39, something like that.
Yeah. That's what I think I want to, when I want to get on it, is around there.
But even without the TRT, like just and it's kind of funny because I just listened to, are you familiar with X3, that bar training thing?
No.
So there's a book that the guy that created this workout program, and I didn't know it before I started doing this myself, but then I saw the book and I was like, well, maybe I should read this book, because I knew that he was doing something similar. But he developed this training program, which is basically what I'm saying. It's this bar and it has bands on it, and it's designed to you do one set, but it was basically 10-minute, 15-minute workout. And it's called weightlifting doesn't work, right? Or weightlifting is a waste of time. That's what it was. But yeah, basically I go into the gym now and I do all machines. I don't do any free weights aside from like bicep curls and stuff like that, where you kind of need to do free weights, but mostly machines. And I'll do one set to absolute failure, just going as slow as I could, right? Not as slow as I could, but super, super controlled, and just focusing on contracting the muscle as hard as I could until I get to absolute failure where I can't move it at all. And I do a short range of motion, because all the studies show that it doesn't matter what your range of motion is for the muscle. In fact, and he talks about in that book too, is like at the weaker area of your, like, let's say you're doing a bench press here where you're weaker, that limits the amount that you can actually produce force wise. So you have to do as low as you can do at the weakest spot, right? It's like the weakest link in the chain. But over here, when you're like in the middle of your bench press, that's when you're strongest. So, and that's why people use bands on the bench press. If you've ever seen them to use bands or chains, is to modify that resistance curve, right? But if you just simply use a machine and you get up to this point and you just do little reps like this, as silly as it looks, obviously you're putting a little bit of range, but just at your strongest point and just focus on the contraction, and you do it to absolute failure, you're going to completely fatigue the muscle fibers, which is all that's required to get growth stimulus, right? And so I just do that for every single body part. I time my workout. It takes me less than 20 minutes at the gym. Then I go back. In fact, the guy at the gym at the counter must be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? This huge guy just came in here and he just left, but that's literally all I'm doing. And then I'm eating close to 300 grams of protein per day. I'm fasting until I've been breaking it up like till 3 o'clock now, and then eating protein, and then eating, high protein for the rest of the, at dinner time.
So
and
what does a typical day look like for you then, John, in terms of like the workout and eating schedule?
Yeah. So like this morning I got up at 5:40, like it's basically, get up 5:40. I take all my supplements, right? Which is basically like on Friday, it would be the TRT and HCG. And then I take the MNN, NMN, vitamin D, biotin. What else am I taking? Dutasteride, just to preventative for hair loss. And then I think of there. 2 things of fish oil capsules for omega-3, and that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any other ones in there. Vitamin K2, right? That goes with the D3. And then after that, I will go and like for this morning, I went and I hit the trails, and I did like about a 6.5 mile run with about 1,400 feet of elevation gain. So it's a pretty tough run up in the trails, right? Heart rate, super high heart rates, right? I used to train low and slow. Fuck that. I'm making so much more progress training intense, hard. So I'm training at like 175 beats per minute heart rate, just like plowing up the mountains, right? And so I did that, come back, make some tea. I stopped drinking coffee. I only drink tea. I completely got rid of my acid reflux once I stopped drinking coffee and started drinking tea. And then I'll make the tea, go take a shower, and then get to work all day until about 2 or 3 o'clock. Then I'll go grab like a Quest protein chips, maybe a Quest protein bar, some dried edamame beans or something like that. Just maybe about 50 to 100 grams of protein, somewhere around there. Maybe sometimes make a protein shake, get another, so I'm already at like 100 grams of protein usually at that point. And then I'll finish working, eat dinner, and I'll just, eat a whole bunch of protein, make a protein shake, get up, get another 200 grams of protein in at dinner. And that's pretty much it. And then on,
so your carbs are pretty limited, sounds like.
I mean, I'm probably in a little bit of a calorie deficit. I've been gaining muscle in a deficit by upping protein. And when I started doing the research on this, what I found was that the research shows that that protein cannot very easily be converted into fat. So you could pretty much eat as much protein as you want, and you're never going to get fat. In fact, there was a thing called the rabbit starvation. If you look that up on Wikipedia, and there are these guys, Arctic explorers, and they got stranded. All they had was rabbits to eat, and so all they ate was rabbits, and they starved to death, even though they had plenty of food, because all they ate was protein, right? And their body could not use it for fuel. Right, it can only use it to build muscle, so they literally starved to death. And the reason why is because rabbits don't have any fat on them. They're basically, so they basically
lean.
Yeah. So you do have to have some other, you can't just eat all protein or you will die. But you can eat 80% of your diet protein and be fine. And so what they found was that the reason why people gain weight or gain muscle in a calorie surplus is not because of the surplus. It's because when they eat more calories, they eat more protein, and that is the main factor that influences it. And so, I mean, it seems kind of crazy, but shit, I tested it myself, and I have all my coaching clients like adapting this protocol now, and it's crazy the results that they're getting with it. So, and
how much do you weigh?
I'm 222 pounds.
Okay.
So, and I'm probably at like 8% body fat. When I did the little scan at the gym, it says at 5.4% body fat. That's obviously not accurate, but yeah, best shape I've ever been in, cardiovascularly, physique wise, everything. And I am working out about a third of what I was. So yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like when I was consistent with like my protein, like I did notice my muscles were more full, and even though it was like the carbs were the same, it's just like, yeah, that's a good point. I go back and forth, like, do you track your macros, or you just,
Nope, I don't even track macros because it doesn't even matter.
You just kind of ballpark it because you're like, as long as I get, I know I have over like 250 grams of protein today. So
yeah, I just try to eat basically 250 to 300 grams of protein, just use as much protein as I can, and then just avoid sugars. Like, I just don't eat junk. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all that I do. Like, other than that, and the crazy thing about it is that it doesn't even matter if I, because I'm eating so much protein that I just gain muscle. Like it's almost like you're in a deficit no matter what. Like, I'm losing fat even when I'm in a surplus of calories, because so much of it's coming from protein. So,
do you wish that you went on TRT sooner, or do you feel like 38, 39 was like the perfect age?
I feel that like that was a perfect age. Yeah.
My testosterone is like above average, but so I shouldn't mess with it until it starts to kind of decline, right?
I mean, my whole thing with it was that, my SHBG was super high. So that resulted, and that was probably from fasting and doing endurance running, right, at my size. But so that crushed my free testosterone. So I felt like I just had a lot like lack of motivation and stuff. And it just was, I don't know. My testosterone, my regular testosterone was fine, but the free was low. So, and then I listened to Derek from More Plates, More Dates, and he was talking about how, like, because I was always like, I'm never going to take anything. I just want to be a lifetime natural. And then he was like, look, he's like, a lot of guys, they, in their 40s, they choose to take TRT because they'd rather have another decade of their 30s. And I was like, well, shit, that's a real good fucking, like, ego. I had to throw my ego out the window and be like, because I built a really good physique, completely natural, top tier physique, right? If you look at my videos from a few years ago, but before I was on anything, but then I was like, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Like, why would you not extend your 30s into your 50s, right? I mean, because you literally can with TRT, as far as motivation, sexual performance, all of those things, and obviously, the physique and stuff like that. So yeah, so to me it was like, yeah, that it makes sense. So in my mind, it doesn't make sense. Like, I think a lot of guys, like, they're in their 20s or early 30s, they want to get on it because it's like, they're like, well, this is a way I can get around and get, some extra gains and stuff like that. I don't think that's very smart. Like, work hard, build your physique, get to the max that you can naturally. And then as you get older and the testosterone does decline naturally, and you get to a point where you want to extend your prime, get your prime and then extend your prime. That's what I think. And I think guys don't hit their prime until 35 or so, at least, right? The potential.
What would be like some of those, like you said, you take the hair loss stuff because like getting like, what are some of the side effects that you have experienced with it?
Nothing that like, yeah, nothing really besides, okay. So, I mean, the hair loss thing, I did notice that like some of my hair was thinning in the back. Again, is that necessarily
Whether that happened anyways? Yeah, you don't know. Right?
You don't know. They say it could accelerate it, but then they also say if you're genetically predisposed, it's going to be. But you can easily combat DHT with dutasteride or finasteride, so that's like not a problem. And you can use minoxidil and whatever as well. So it's a very easy problem to solve. Technically, testosterone can raise your LDL and lower your HDL, which I have seen. My total cholesterol is like 201 or something like that. You're supposed to be below 200 or something like that. So I'm just barely over, and my LDL is higher. But actually, all of the studies show that there is no correlation between cholesterol and heart disease. In fact, they think it's actually an inverse correlation, right? The latest studies that show that your cholesterol levels are a reflection of your heart health, not your cholesterol affects your heart health, right? So, I do my blood work. I got, tested my C-reactive protein, which is basically an inflammation marker in the body. And that is a better indicator of heart disease. You can also, do a calcium imaging test on your heart, where they'll do a CAT scan and actually look for calcium deposits, which is a better predictor. So, to be on the safe side, just in case, because it's also shown like, statins are really bad for you, but I'm taking just a very tiny small dose of rosuvastatin and combine it with CQ10 because it depletes that, and that shows like cardioprotective properties. It will lower your LDL and increase your HDL. Very small amount is very side effect free, but it shows cardioprotective properties. Again, I think that the lowering the LDL and raising the HDL, it doesn't seem to matter because, again, all the studies the old studies are wrong about cholesterol. There's no correlation between cholesterol and actually heart disease, right? But there is like the inverse correlation, right? So basically, like if you lower someone's LDL and raise their HDL, it does not improve their cardiovascular health, right? But someone that does have a lower LDL in general would be an indicator of higher cardiovascular health, but it doesn't mean that is the only way to judge it. So anyway, that's kind of where it's at with that. But
that's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool, John. Yeah, I'm just like, I noticed like my sleep is like, I think the biggest thing that I struggle with, like not getting enough sleep. I think if I shift that, like maybe eating more protein, because I noticed when I did do that, it's good. But like, I pretty much I work out really well. I eat really well. Like I'm top 1% as far as lifts and everything. I think I've hit that genetic point. You know what I mean? Of like, it's harder to see gains. So like I invested a lot of money into Mario's course, and that was helpful to like learn things and stuff. But like,
Mario Tomic.
Yeah. I did his course. But yeah, I think it's like at the point, I'm just going to try to maintain, maybe try to improve as much as I can until I'm like 37, 38, and then probably get on some TRT.
I'll tell you what, try this. Try upping your protein. Try to get like 250 grams of protein a day.
Okay.
Right. Just make that change, and then try it for like a month. Go to the gym and do one set to absolute failure of every body part, and just do it 3 times a week. Because the other thing that I think is happening here.
That's really hard for me to. That's hard for me to believe.
Believe me, I used to do 2-hour workouts like 4 times.
I'm only there for an hour, but like 20 minutes. Like I kind of like being there for an hour.
I mean, give it a try, because I bet you'll get really, really good results from that. All the science backs up what I'm saying here. But if you try that,
how come it's not okay? How come it's not more well known than that? This strategy of just going into one set of failures like works.
Look up my friend Jay Vincent. He preaches this as well, and he's a fitness model, and he does 2 workouts a week. That's it to maintain, and he does 1 set to failure. he was the first person that turned me on to this, but all the science shows this. In fact, did I show you that speed fitness thing? I think
No.
on here.
No.
Okay, so take a look at this. I'm going to buy this machine instantly when it's available. It basically is based off of the science. So simple machine like this, and what it does, it basically, this is like a 10-minute workout, but it gets you to absolute failure as quick as possible because it uses variable resistance. Like it detects how much you're pulling on it, and then it gives you to maximal muscle exhaustion as quickly as possible. It's like $3,500 or $4,000 for this machine, but it's going to be an instant buy for me as soon as it's available for shipping. So, but it's based on the science. Like this is the like, read that book also.
No, it's funny. No, it's funny. This science, these machines, this type of workout. I went to a UPW, I think it was like five years ago, and they had these machines that Tony Robbins, like in the corner, like they were doing the same exact thing. You just like push as hard as you can for like one workout and resist, and then you let go like for like
Yeah, but it's crazy because I started doing it in the gym and I was like, oh, this is not going to work. But man, I mean, you saw the pictures, right? Or the video. It's like, I have the best physique that I've ever had, as lean. I haven't lost muscle, right? Just up your protein, try this out. And because I think part of it too, and this is a huge thing, is recovery, right? I think that's why, because I'm only lifting, 3 times a week, 20 minutes. So I'm getting a shit ton of recovery. I'm only sleeping about 6 hours a night, but I sleep solid since I started taking the NMN. That I did notice from the NMN. Like I sleep like straight through the night. I don't wake up at all, which is crazy because I used to wake up like 7 times during the night. But yeah, if you try that, but the recovery, even on the running, right? Because I used to do like so much mileage and run every single day, like 6 days a week, like 70, 80 miles, but you just can't recover, right? Especially if you're big and you're hitting the gym too. But I'm doing super, super intense workouts, right? Where I'm raising my heart rate way up there, but I'm only running 4 times a week. So I'm able to get, this plenty of recovery time, and so I'm seeing drastic improvements.
Yeah, totally changed. You give me a lot of think about. It's just like just I'm gonna be honest with you, like it's just so hard because like I'm so attached to like going to the gym as much as possible because I love the process of going there, you know what I mean?
But you're wasting your time. That's the thing that I because I had to like realize that I'm wasting my fucking time. Like it's not actually doing anything more. In fact, it's impeding the results, right? If you actually do this kind of workout, you're going to get better results. Plus, the other thing is, like, I mean, you're younger than me too, man. I was fucking up my joints and hurting myself all the time, like shoulder injury, and then I had fucking whatever knee and all these things, and it's just because I'm doing heavy weights. Like free weights, it's unnecessary. You don't need to do it in order to get the result. So yeah, I wish I would have learned it sooner because I wasted so many hours and hours in the gym that were unnecessary. But try it out. Like I said, hey, I've been doing this for basically since Manny left for India, because I was working out with him. But once he left, I was like, okay, well, I might as well try this new thing. And
so I'll look into Jay Vincent for like the workout stuff, and then my protein.
Yeah, and see what happens. I mean, just do the experiment for a month.
Yeah,
and see what happens. I mean, you're not going to lose your gains in a month if it does, But what you could gain is a huge amount of time back. Not only time, but here's the other thing, right? It's recovery. It's a rest. Like if you're working out 4 or 5 times a week, like 2-hour workouts or whatever it was, like I was beat all the time. And so once I stopped that, now I have so much more energy and like I can focus on my work better. So that's why I thought it was, so relevant. But
duly noted. I'm gonna have to sit on this for a while, but I think I'm definitely gonna up the protein 100%. And then I'll look into Jay Vincent stuff and let you know how that goes. But
yeah.
All right, John. Well, thanks, man. Have a great week. I have a call right now with the client, but have a great weekend, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You too.